Another beautiful day in England. But it is noisy outside. I wonder what the neighbours are up to.
That's going to go in a minute, mate. All these cars are gone. Every one of these.
Oh shit, man, they're in. They're in. Oh wow.
So, what's the problem? Everything. This country is divided. It's so bad, you'd think that maybe the Conservative Party got Moses himself to give them a hand. Every single year, they promise to reduce migration, and every year beat their own high score at record levels of migration.
You were pledged to stop the boats, not reduce the number, not bring the number down, actually to stopping them. Will you have done that by the time of the next election?
Look, I've always also said that this is not something that is easy. It is a complicated problem where there's no single simple solution.
If we have no intention to stop them, what do we do with them? Well, we stick them in hotels at £8 million a day, funded by the taxpayer. And if there's any spare, we'll give it to Ukraine for some reason. If you're frustrated and have any negative criticisms, it's because you're a right-wing extremist and a racist. Axel Muganwa Rudakabuna, a Welshman, walks into a dance class and stabs 3 young girls to death, which also happened to be next to where I live. A Pakistani man on his website claims that a Muslim asylum seeker was responsible for the stabbing.
So, just a document, apparently because of that stabbing the other day, there's a bunch of people kicking off and there's a mosque up the road, so they're planning to smash it up and all the Liverpool lot are kicking off, so I've got to get out of here. Oh, here we go. Ooh.
The people were already angry, but now they're really angry. So what does the government do? Well, they blame the far-right racists.
I utterly condemn the far-right thuggery we've seen this weekend.
But interestingly, some riots are better than others.
Be in no doubt,
I was shocked.
those
and
that have
angered
participated in
at
this
the
violence
killing of George Floyd
will face the full
and the
force
response
of the law.
President Trump.
The police
and the US
will be
authorities
making arrests.
To the peaceful
Individuals
protests,
will be
to
held
people
on
rightly
remand,
demanding justice.
The people are absolutely furious and nobody's listening. So they voice their opinions online, which is now illegal.
Force of the law at people. And whether you're in this country committing crimes on the streets or committing crimes from further afield online, we will come after you.
Talk to me about that, because we have seen some high-profile figures whipping up the hatred. You talked about it in there with the officers, in fact, about this being added to by online commentary. I mean, I'm even thinking of the likes of Elon Musk getting involved. What are you considering when it comes to dealing with people who are whipping up this kind of behaviour from behind a keyboard, maybe in a different country?
Being a keyboard warrior does not make you safe from the law. You can be guilty of offences of incitement, of stirring up racial hatred. There are numerous terrorist offences regarding the sort of publishing of material. All of those offences are in play if people are provoking hatred and violence on the streets, and we'll come after those individuals just as we will physically confront on the streets the thugs and the yobs who are causing the problems for communities.
You're seeing it now in England where people are getting arrested for tweets.
Yeah. Well,
England, people talk about Soviet Russia, like how bad Russia is in terms of cracking down on thought police and cracking down on bad tweets and things like that. I think the statistics are, I think England I think there's something like 4,000 people have been arrested in England for thought crimes, where they've said things online that people find to be a hateful thing or a problematic thing.
Are we going two-tier policing, sir?
In Russia last year, 400 people were arrested for things that they said on social media. 400 people in Russia. Obviously, this country is very different. How many people do you think were arrested in Britain for things they said on social media last year?
Go on.
Take a guess.
I've no idea.
3,300.
Really? Arrested for what they'd said on social media?
Yeah.
Really? What sort of things get you arrested?
Well, one example I give in my show is there was a young woman from Liverpool called Chelsea Russell. Her friend was killed in a car crash, a 19-year-old woman. and she posted the lyrics of his favorite song on her Instagram, the lyrics. And it was a rap song, so the lyrics contained several instances of the N-word, okay? She was arrested, prosecuted, found guilty, given 500 hours of community service and a fine, tagged, and for a year she was under 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. curfew.
My goodness.
In Britain.
In Britain.
In 2018.
I've started the hashtag 76 genders, even though there are probably more like millions of gender.
It's not true. That's impossible.
Okay, so posts on social media are illegal. But we don't just police speech, we police sight. Maybe you don't care about free speech, you just want to save your money and buy a house. Well, let's weigh up your options. Supply is critically low, and with the amount of newcomers, demand is ever so great. Don't live in this city, you idiot. Just get the train, like everybody else.
The average cost of a season ticket is now just under £2,500, but some can be much more, £11,000, £12,000, £13,000. And for this journey, an annual season ticket has just gone up to £1,884.
Don't get the train, you idiot. Learn to drive, like everybody else. If your car is too old or not electric, we'll just charge you £15 a day to drive it. Let's not forget about congestion charge. If you contribute to the traffic, that's an extra £12.50 a day. This roughly works out at £6,000 a year, and it doesn't include insurance, MOT, road tax, or fuel prices. Don't make too much money, because income tax will bend you over.
I mean, you have to go to the UK here, I guess. This housing in the back, Loki feels, or like the brick there feels like the UK. Also, it just looks depressing. So like that's probably the biggest clue. I'm just gonna go like something up here. Maybe slightly more south. Like near Manchester's pretty depressing. Yeah, makes sense.
All we can do now is vote for a new government and hope for the best.
6 days to go until the general election. Boy, we are doing well. How do I know? The level of attacks.
My two daughters have to see and hear Reform people who campaign for Nigel Farage calling me an effing packy. It hurts and it makes me angry.
A so-called Reform UK activist turns up in the Clacton office last Saturday, goes out with an undercover, apparently, Channel 4 news team, and makes a series of very, very racist, derogatory remarks about Rishi Sunak, the Prime Minister, about people crossing the channel who he wants to shoot, about turning every mosque into a Wetherspoons. I mean, I watched this stuff. I thought, this is just so over the top. No one speaks like this. This is like an Alf Garnett comedy sketch going back 50 years. And yet, overnight we found out that the guy is an actor. So we called him this morning. The Daily Telegraph called him this morning. He denied being an actor. After a short period of time, he admitted to other media outlets that he was an actor.
Reform didn't win, but they did well. And at least they'll be able to get some seats in Parliament to form some kind of opposition. Or at least that would be the case if it was fair, but it's not.
And a lout, opposite side of a street, gets a cup, fills it with cement, lobs it at the bus that I'm on, and you can see the picture here of me ducking and me shouting to everybody else, get down. It was a very dangerous, provocative, violent thing for this guy to do. Luckily, some builders who were working on the site stopped him, apprehended him. He was arrested. Today, he's been given a suspended prison sentence. He will not serve any custodial time at all. But you see, in Keir Starmer's Britain, if he put something in tempera on Facebook after a couple of glasses of wine, he would have gone to prison. And that's the mess we're in.
And here we are. And I worry because this video could potentially be illegal and land me a prison sentence for 2 years. Maybe. I don't know. But what I will say is, the UK is fucked.